Gentlemen, so my very basic idea of how these fans differ, and again, my very basic idea since I don't really fucking know much about fluid dynamics, and I claim to be no fucking expert whatsoever. But what I've noticed between your newer style Lexan or Kevlar fans, the 11 bladed ones versus the older 10 bladed metal fans, is that if you'll have a look here, you'll notice that the vanes on the newer plastic fans are shorter, but you also have one more vane, and they're a little more spaced together. From my basic understanding, and once again, very basic understanding, that would mean that you've got a lower volume of air moving through these at a higher speed. Whereas with the older 10-bladed fan, you would have a bigger volume of air moving at a lower speed. So what I've figured is that why not file down the edges? And this idea came about to me when I was working on that Omega today that I just made a video on. And one of the fans were broke clean off at the edges, so I figured why the hell not just file it. So what I've done is obviously I've filed down all of the edges as close to uniform as I could get them. I'm no machinist, and I just did all this by eye. I didn't even bother scribing them. I very much should have and followed my line, but whatever. I did it by hand. And so my idea in theory is that what this is doing, you're taking a little bit of drag from the airflow through the vanes. You're removing just a little smidgen of drag, and that's increasing your airflow. And I have noticed this because after I did that to the Omega fan, the airflow went like, I mean, it's picking up carpet like I've never had a Classic Series before do that. I had an Omega, it didn't do that. It had a metal fan in it that was in pristine condition. And it wouldn't, I mean, this is picking the carpet up off of the floor. And just, you can hear that airflow screech, you know, kind of how you'd hear from a Generation Series, that airy noise that they make, whatever. So anyhow, and what I've also done with these is I just stuck it in my drill chuck, and I centered this as best I could. I trued it, actually. I took my mill bastard and I faced this edge. You can see where it's kind of shiny along the edges, and that made this run absolutely true. So there's no wobulations, what in the blades or whatever. It's not doing that shit, you know. So, and I also filed down these just a smidgen, just the top of the vanes, just a little bit to kind of clean them up. And I don't know what it did, but it did something, because these are actually, they're moving a crap ton of air now. If someone would like to put this into practice and put these head to head, I'm looking at you, Tom and Tristan. I would very much like to see if that actually does make a difference. I feel like it does. I even noticed a difference. I did the same exact thing to my 515, and even I noticed a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it does do something, but that's about all I can say. I'm no scientist. I know fuck all about aerodynamics and fluid dynamics and shit, and yeah, that's not my area of expertise, but hey, if someone can get repeatable results out of this, it's got to be doing something right. Good night.